welcome to the maiden edition of the Empowered Women podcast. I'm excited to be here as your host. My name is Tejiri Tialubi. I'll be bringing you amazing and inspiring stories of successful, passionate, and experienced women who have shattered glass ceilings, who have overcome impossible situations, and who will be here to share their stories with us. So join me in this journey as we learn, unlearn, relearn, and get equipped with everything we need to become empowered as women. Today I am honored to have here with me a trailblazing leader who is redefining the narrative of women all around the world. She is a force of nature and she has a heart of gold, and her spirit cannot be dimmed. Each time I listen to her, I get inspired. From CEO of a thriving spa to entrepreneur extraordinaire with multiple businesses, our guest resume is impressive. But it's not just about the titles, it's about the impact she's making in the lives of women everywhere. Through a non-governmental organization, she provides a safe haven for women escaping abusive relationships, offering them a lifeline of support and guidance. Her passion for women's empowerment is rooted in her own experiences, and she speaks with authenticity and conviction. As a writer, speaker, and passionate Christian, Stephano's message is one of hope, resilience, and determination. She's not just a motivational speaker, she's a catalyst for change, inspiring women to take control of their lives and finances. So get ready to be inspired, motivated, and empowered. So join me as I welcome to our very first podcast show, TF Stephano.
Thank you so much. I'm honored to be here. Thank you for having me on this show. This is a great work you're doing. It's so beautiful. Thank you for putting your insights out there for people. This is a good one.
Thank you so much. I wish I could take the credit for this, but our credit first of all belongs to God, who has called us to this work, and then some of our organs behind the camera,
That's
all right, so let's get straight into the gist for today. Today we'll be discussing so many topics, but all with the aim of, getting our story or your story to the viewers, and so that they can get one or two lessons, that would help them in the journey of their life. First of all, I know that you're passionate about financial independence and empowerment for women. So I'm going to start with that aspect, Recently, I got to know that you have multiple businesses, and I was wowed. Like, where do you get the energy to do this? So let's start first with your spa business. What gave you the motivation to start the spa business, and how has it been so far?
First and foremost, I want to thank God for the people who actually put their, creative impact, or let me say their creative insight, for people to capture, of which I'm one of them. Everything you're seeing or everything you said earlier actually started, from people. Maybe what people put down, and then, or what the audacious people are able to actually put out there, and then we run with it. So spa is one of them. I started as a beauty entrepreneur, like a beauty, therapist. Let me say hairdresser.
Okay.
I started as a hairdresser, and then from there, I love creativity. I love to move from one level of my business to another. So from one to another, so I have like three income. Ways that income are actually coming in. So from hair to nail technician, from nail technician to a makeup artist, from makeup artistry to a spa owner. Wow. So from there,
so it's even much more than I
exactly thought. Because you have to be wise, especially if you're in Nigeria, due to economical whatever. You have to be smart, You can't just put all your egg in one basket. I'm not saying that don't know how to do one very well. Be smart, be a professional on one, then climb onto another, because you need many streams of income. You can't just rely on one. So that's my story.
So even as a woman, you're saying now that it's not sufficient for women to have just one stream of income.
For me, I like to be a total woman. I like to be a woman where a one-stop shop. Like, I want to make you look good. When you enter into my space, maybe you want to go for a photo profile picture or whatever, you want to have your wedding done. I don't want you to leave to another place. You have to come, have your facial done, prior the time of your makeover. Everything is well done from your head to your toe, even to your honeymoon.
So your goal is to collect all the money from the person.
Sincerely yours. It's really not about money. For me, it's about the making you look good. I love people. When I'm around you, you will think we've known ourselves for long.
Yes.
I just like to capture you, to get you, so that another person will not take my customer.
Yes.
Because I want you to have that moment that, when I was at Stephano, I got everything done there, and it's not, she took her time. It's not really about the money. It's about that purpose. I love beauty. So if you're going to be able to advise women now, are you saying that the norm now is for us to get multiple streams of income? Well, first of all, I would advise you to get your passion right. That's the first thing I would advise you to do. Make sure you get your passion right, what you love to do. This, my business actually started while in school. Like while I was let me say teenager age, it started, so I love to make people, you must be beautiful. So most of my friends got married, and I made them up and all of that. So from there, I started doing it. In fact, my husband then said, Stephano, you're not going to, that nobody will pay you for being a makeup artist. Because I was the first makeup artist in Ibadan.
Wow.
Yes, then Tara in Lagos.
Wow.
So I'm like, people will pay for anything beautiful. And then people started to pay for.
How was it like starting a new business where nobody was into at that time?
Yes, when you are passionate about a thing and you do it well, people will pay. They will pay heaven for it. I'm telling you.
Wow.
So that's it.
So as a Christian now, what has it been like for you to run a spa business?
Well, I had the CAC background when I was young. No earrings, no chain. You can see me on like golden. Let me say champagne here.
And by the way, the color of your hair suits you so much.
I love coloration. Like, I studied coloration in South Africa, and it was one of my cause. I love it so much. I love to look beautiful. I know color that will accentuate your skin color. Yeah, okay. That will bring you out.
As a Christian, how easy has it been running a spa business?
Wow.
And how has it been so far?
Spa in particular.
Yes.
I knew it.
I'm gonna give you a gist regarding that spa.
I knew it.
First of all, I want to ask, as a Christian,
I'm telling you, I knew you wanted to say something about spa. Spa business is actually very intricate to operate. If you're not a believer, you're not a child of God, you don't have let me put it this way, if you don't have the fear of God, you need to have fear of God for you to operate a spa, because people will pay you. I mean, they are ready to buy you.
What do you mean ready to buy?
Yes, ready to give you money that would pay you, that would sweep you off your feet, and then you compromise.
Oh, compromise in what way?
Yes, it's because I know that is what we're heading to, so it's better to start from. Spa business is to relieve your mental health. It's to make you okay mentally. Maybe you work mostly on your laptop you are an online business person, or you have anxiety, or you stress a lot, or you work a lot and you need relaxation. So rubbing your body, putting hand on a male to female body, can actually bring stuffs like emotion.
Okay,
your emotion can run. Yes. Do you understand?
Have you found yourself in such scenario?
Of course.
And how did you handle it?
Of course I have several times, but I understand the pros and cons of that business. So I know that you don't go. This is a public massage center. My own massage center is not an adult or private massage center. It's actually a public massage center. You have a frozen neck, then we can help you to straighten it. You have low spasm problem. You have your low back pain, and then
or you just want to relax,
or you just want relaxation. Maybe you have mental
stress.
Yes, and then you want to relax, you have tension. So in that way we can help you to actually relax that. But after relaxation, some people fall away, and you can trace that back to their intent. Their intention was never right. Do you understand? Maybe they saw a fine girl and then they came to do spa. So you can trace their intent, because after 5 minutes of a serious massage, you had already slept off.
Okay.
So what is keeping you awake is what's
So in such situations, how do you handle it as a Christian, or what are the steps you put in place to protect?
In my own spa, before you make any payment, we'll put it to you. It's written there. No happy ending.
You see this happy ending you mentioned. The first time I heard it, I was wowed. I was actually chatting with a colleague, I think a friend, but not so close friend, like an acquaintance. And so we're just discussing, what do you like to do in your free time? I said, I have actually not had a professional massage.
Wow.
So I'm looking forward to having one. I was just telling the person, and the person was like, with happy ever after. And I was like, what does that mean? And it was like, you don't know about it. Okay, don't worry. And I was so curious. I wanted to know what. And the day I knew what it meant, I was like, wow, do these people really do happy?
I'm telling you, we have people like that. It's also a professional part on their own side of whatever business part they do. But as a believer, I can't go that route. Yes, we have a place that we put. That's boundary. Yes, I can't go that far, because you're a believer. You can't be doing massage for somebody and also be catching feelings on another person's husband or wife. So we tell them, if you want to, like I tell my staff, you like this person, let it be after this place. You understand, don't make it around
the
here.
Workplace should be the workplace.
Other places they can have happy ending. Some people have masturbation. They have session where they have a lot of illicit other things. But personally, I don't do it. Your body is aching you, then we can do a relief massage for you on that aspect. You have low back pain, you have a photo shoot and you want to look bright, you can come for a relaxation massage. And everybody actually needs massage. It's not a luxury. It's what everybody needs because of the situation around human beings.
Sometimes as office staff, we might go to the office and we end up sitting for hours almost every day, Monday to Friday.
So there's no way you won't have stress bombs all over you and you want to take them out. So massage is a very
I'm looking forward to paying.
Please come. We are here for you. I'm waiting.
So I think
Stephano Spa is waiting for you.
I will be there, don't worry. And I think the take home for me here is that as Christians, when we find ourselves in situations that would likely ask for compromise, we should stand our ground and draw boundaries.
Exactly.
So it's not limited to just running a spa.
Exactly. And that is very sacrosanct. Because if you have, if you cannot put boundaries as believer, I don't know what faith you're preaching. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know where you're taking people to. You can actually catch feelings everywhere, in the banking hall, in
the
marketplace, anywhere. But you can set a proper boundary for yourself and for yourself, because how many people are you going to sleep with? I tell single parent because I'm a convener of,
yes, we're
a
going
single
there.
parent. So I tell people, how many people do you want to sleep with? To fill your gas, to do this and all of that. You need to get a life. We have females empowering people everywhere. So,
and that is why you always preach financial independence.
Exactly.
When a woman has something doing, the exposure or the probability that she's susceptible to such temptation will be very reduced.
It's very important. I tell people, before you leave that marriage, you want to leave a marriage that is not, that you are complaining about, count your costs, count everything very well before you leave. I know that place is, you're on fire in that place, you're facing abuse, domestic violence and all of that, but even before you leave, make a proper preparation. You understand? Maybe you have to keep quiet for some time. You have to just shut your mouth, shoot up, for you to actually, to be able to plan yourself properly before you leave.
But what about if it's a situation where
life and death?
Yes, it's spontaneous, and they just need to just make that decision, at the spot.
There's
quickly.
no way. There's no one that is an island. I want us to know that. No one is an island. You will have church members. You will have a friend. For me, it was a friend I ran to. She took all of us in. God gave me that one friend. Not even my family, I'm telling you, but God gave me that one friend. So there will always be one person that will always be there for you. No how, no how.
That's true.
Yeah.
So in such situations, you would advise that they run to these people,
Exactly.
and from there begin to be deliberate about their actions.
And then I will tell the youth out there, the first thing is not marriage. The first thing is empowerment, empowering yourself. I mean, if you and this thing actually happened to mostly ladies. When you had any youth out there, especially in Nigeria, I don't know what is happening. If you ask them, okay, what are your goals or what are your dreams in life? They start telling you, when I'm 21, I want to get married and all of that. I want to have 4 kids. I'm like, what do you want to be? But if you ask an average men or guys of 21 years old, he will tell you want to build like 10 houses. I want house in Lekki. And as a man thinks, he is.
I think it's the societal pressure on women,
Yes.
and this age shaming that when you're past certain age, biologically it would affect your reproduction, your fertility, giving birth and all. So most women want to get married as early as 20 so that they can give birth to children. That's why some of them marry out of pressure.
Are you kidding me? Don't they think they are going to feed the children they are bringing to this
Some of them don't even think beyond the wedding.
I think it still boils down to lack of exposure. Yes, because if you are in a society of whereby they believe that it's only men that will cater for whatever, and you are still limiting yourself to that, your environment.
What about men who insist that they don't want their women to work? They want them to.
It still boils down to cultural values.
Yes. Societal beliefs.
Exactly.
Yes.
And that is why there's this empowerment from people every now and then. You can't use the whatever you've used in 21st century now. So you have to drive with what is happening now.
Yes.
You have to make sure that you count your cost. Anybody, even our parents. My mommy is an entrepreneur. My mommy built the house we have. He built, shops and all of that. And she didn't go to school.
some women actually let themselves go, especially when they get married, and they have children. They stop taking care of themselves. They stop being productive. They depend on the man for everything. That kind of responsibility sometimes on the man can be very overwhelming and could lead them to sometimes react, and then there'll begin to be friction in the house. So at least my take home from this conversation now is that women should do something.
They should be empowered.
In Africa, we have this belief or this mindset that wealthy women don't get husbands on time, and that when a woman is wealthy, she won't, or when she's got some financial independence, she won't be submissive to her husband. So some young girls try not to work for money before marriage because they don't want to face marital delay and all of that. So what is your take on it, and what advice would you give to those girls?
Well, we need to let our youth have that, we need to educate our youth. Especially the female gender. They need to know that by the time they grow up, before they actually think about marriage, the first thing to actually think about is actually, what do you want to be? What skill do you want to have? What career do you want to push?
That can convert into
into money. You understand? So when they have that all together, they can start from that and start building themselves. Because this here beauty business actually started way back
in secondary school. No, in university.
When I was in secondary school.
Wow.
Yes. I started making hair for young girls. I remember them that they would come to my house and nobody would make my hair for me after I'd made hair for all of them. So it's actually
first thing for a girl after your schooling, just look for something doing
from secondary school.
Yourself.
Vocational is very important from secondary school. You have to get them. In fact, from primary school now.
I think that's
because I do summer training.
Wow.
So what we do is that we catch them young from cradle. Don't let me say cradle. Let me say from 10 years old. Let me say 6 now. Because when you see a 6-year-old child, she's liking makeup. She wants to put lipstick in her mouth. She wants to explore.
You that she has tendencies.
Exactly. So from there, as parents, let's start taking,
note.
Cognizance. Let's start studying them. There you
and
see
encourage
that.
them to thrive.
Yes.
I think one of the regrets I have is not having one vocational skill. If I were to, turn back the hands of time, I think I would love tailoring.
You can still do it, ma'am.
No, now we are all about the bag.
You can still have it.
We're looking for money now.
You can still do whatever you like.
I love tailoring. I love the fashion design business.
Vicky James.
Yeah, there's not really Vicky James, but I think her styles are more bold. Mine is a little bit conservative.
Okay, conservative.
I love fashion, but just conservative, not too bold.
You will have your clients.
Exactly. But now we're all about the money, but we never can tell if God gives us the grace. Now we want to talk about your non-governmental organization, Opal Life. The first time I came across your video on Facebook, I was wowed, I was like, who is she? You came so bold, like you were not sending, What made you start that non-governmental organization, and what is it all about?
Life, again, is a ministry. It's not actually an NGO, it's a ministry on its own. Okay. And it's to actually help people, the survivors, to move on, or people who are not yet, who are still depressed, with the issue of marriage, divorce, and single parent and all of that, to actually move on from being depressed to moving on to what God actually wants for them. God loves everybody. Whether you are divorced or you're married, God does not hate you.
Or you're a single mom.
Yes. Whether you're a single mom or you are, God loves everybody. It is here that people actually, put that,
Stigmatize.
yes, judge people, that are divorced or people that are separated. You're not supposed to be judged. You can be advised, okay, this is what is happening, and in love. Bible says correct people in love. So even if we have people who are about to move away from out of their marriages or their marriage, we actually cancel them first and let them see where they are moving into, and show them this, our own scars too, that this is what we are actually facing. This is what you are coming to meet if you divorce or if you separate. But in a very difficult situation, for example, in a domestic situation whereby there is bullying, there is life-threatening situations, beating and all sorts, we advise people to separate, couples to actually separate from each other. Don't die. There's a life, because if you die, then all hope is gone. You cannot settle any dispute.
So
after
when
you
there
are
is
dead.
threat to life, you
Exactly. You
advise
have to excuse yourself. That is very, very, in fact, that is common sense. You should know that what you're doing, if because it has happened to me. I attempted suicide like about, let me say, 4 times. I didn't know why I didn't actually die.
Because God has a reason.
He has a reason for people. So that is why I'm so eager to actually pour into people's lives. People need to hear this. They need to hear about our life again. People don't need to die. And they don't need to be stigmatized or censured by any church or whatever. People need to actually come to counselors that have experienced such situation and hear them out on how they were able to move from one level of depression or whatever anxiety to another. You need to know, you need to be well tutored. So that is what Alive Again is all about, that you can be alive again.
That despite going through that situation,
you can be alive again. You can live the life of glory. Yes. You can actually live a better life after divorce, after separation. You don't need to allow anybody to actually kill you or to destroy you, because they don't know your story. They don't know where you are coming from. They don't know where you are, And that is why I love all these creative people out there that actually put their stories together to bless lives. Many stories. I have my book titled Higher Life.
Yes.
I mean, that book is a power pack. I'm telling you, that book is a bombshell. I'm telling you, in a case of domestic violence, you need to run. Separation is actually the answer. Give yourself this common sense and separate. Separation is required. In fact, pastors will tell you. I don't know any pastor that will tell you to stay and die in such situation. Pastors will never tell you. They will tell you to separate, especially when it's reoccurring. They will tell you can't go to that house. They will either take you to their house or to your
I think before now, most pastors were of the opinion that there should not be divorce and not no separation and all of that. So I think after that Austin Ashi's outcome and story went viral, a lot of pastors now began to consider telling people to separate first, and they begin to seek solution to the issue at hand. And if it gets to the point where both parties refuse to reconcile, amicably, then of course.
Well, some pastors are also justified. We can actually give it to them, because Bible says what God has joined together, let no man put asunder. So if you check that scripture very well, nobody wants to actually, put himself in line for anybody. So it's better for you to actually give yourself brain, run to your parents' house, run to somewhere, to a friend's place. He or she will find you, because it's not only female gender that is having this issue. We now see ladies beating their men hands down. I'm telling you, there are men that will cry to us and tell us that, Stephanie, this is what is happening to me. My wife beats me. You know, and this one is not soft beating, serious beating. So in such situation, you can actually excuse yourself for a time. You understand? Why you seek solution. You can go to the court, to the police station first of all. Just go there and lodge a complaint about what is happening in your house. By the time it comes to right, he or she, the person involved, then he wouldn't try such again.
I think this conversation will not be complete if I don't ask this question.
Okay.
Do you think women empowerment means feminism where they hate men? What do you think about it?
That is self-hate. It's actually feminist. I don't really want to, because we have a lot of people that are feminist and we also need to be, to empathize with them. But I think we should have this self-love, because, some terminology are actually coming from self-hate. Yes, all this transgender stuff and all of that. Of course, some people capture it in his insights. Do you understand? For other people too. But if we check it deeply, we would actually see that this thing is not from God. Yes, hating yourself will make you to
the
put
point
all
of wanting
men.
to change your gender.
Yes, will make you to put all men in a box. And then you tell us that all men cheat. All ladies they scam. Do you understand?
Men are scam.
Yes, because you have a son too. Is your son a cheat, or is it going to be a scam? So we need to check our hearts, because broken people will actually break other people,
and they will transfer their trauma to people.
So when you see that somebody is broken, they start masking their pain into some things that are ungodly. I'm telling you, I don't want to mention those terms. And then there was a time we had a program at His Grace Hotel, and this lady just came. I did not invite. She's not one of our guests. She dressed up like she's come. She has authored 6 books, and then she was screaming, "Kiniko, Stephanie, you're not doing the right thing. Those men need to be Kiniko. They need to be, I'm like, you want to push them in faria, you want to you want to destroy men. This is not right. You're just, pouring your hatred to people. You need to love yourself so that you can love people and learn, because we all learn through humility. Your belief today may change in 30 minutes time.
Yes,
I'm telling you, based on growth.
Yes.
So you need to actually watch it. You need to humble yourself, and the word of God, the scripture, is actually our, what do you call it? Our guide. So anything that is out of scripture, we don't contest it.
Yes.
That is your guide. If you want to learn, you want to submit, you want to love, you actually need to submit to the word of God.
Yes.
I'm telling you, that is you.
You're right. I usually tell people that feminism is not about hating men.
Yes.
It is about empowering women to be much more than the traditional society.
God did not create one. He didn't create one gender. I'm serious. God created us. He didn't create us as an island. You are created to actually have social connection with men. These people that are pushing feminism, tomorrow they are going to entangle themselves in one relationship or the other. So you are not, actually, I don't know, but for me, it is a no. You understand? Loving yourself should not be selfish. You should also learn, because we cannot always be right. Yes. I've learned I have my own bad stuff, that I'm actually working on. So we are work in progress. And we have to follow due process. I'm telling you, till we become better, till we know that this one will, will be rude to me.
Someone was asking me, this way you're talking, is like you want somebody who is perfect. I said, no, even Jesus said only God is perfect, But there is this thing about, the right mindset. If you say you love me or you say you like me, and I'm telling you that this action hurts me, I expect that we should have this discussion on way forward. But you ignoring me when I'm telling you that this action is hurting me would further create that hurt in me. And then I would also react to that. And then, the situation begins to get worse and worse.
Sis, one thing I realize is that people don't know some things. See, I think there's a foundational problem somewhere. This is the way they do in their home. This is the way, when we
and they don't want to compromise.
No. You see, so sometimes people don't know that they are behaving in such a way.
Unless you tell them.
It is what they know. But when you constantly tell them, in love, because if you're putting it to, into their throats, you are forcing it down.
Criticizing or judging
they are
them.
Going to
or you're nagging about it.
Exactly. So you have to come to them in love, and you have to, explain. You tell them, my dear, I love when you dialogue than forcing it. You understand? You can tell me. You can call me aside, to tell me I love it that way, and you are going to find the right timing to actually do it. I'm telling you, I'm learning now.
So would you say that love alone is enough for a relationship? Because in my own experience, I think I went in first, based on love, feelings and all of that. But later I found out that value system, mindset, belief is very, very important, So what should women be looking at? Not just women, maybe even girls, as they are preparing to get married, what should women be looking out for when they want to choose a life partner?
Things to know in relationship that we need to learn, so that we can have a good relationship. Everybody, we as men love to be respected. Women also love to be respected. And also, if you don't know who you are, don't marry somebody who does not know who he is already. No matter the age. Age is not
the indicator of maturity.
It's not. So if you don't know who you are, there is no way you will know how to respect another person. You will be guilt-tripping them. You will be, gaslighting them. Yes. Because you don't show respect to yourself. You can talk to them anyhow. Yes. There is no way those values will come alive, because he or she is disrespecting him or herself. So there is no way. So the first thing you are looking out for is somebody who respects his words or her words. Her words are valuable to her. Is what is valuable to her. He does not abuse you in a way. He doesn't just call it joke.
Yeah.
It's minding
this backhanded compliment.
Because a lot of people are shut down due to this. Words. Words of mouth are very powerful. Emotional abuse. I'm telling you. And in the course of playing, you just tell them you're just playing and all of that. Children, they grew up being abused by parents and all of that. We have damaged the word. So you have to make
that some people can't even take compliments outside. When you tell them you are beautiful, they're like,
they would repulse.
They will look at it.
Yes, what are you saying?
Yeah, I'm not beautiful. Now you'll be wondering, what are you saying yourself?
Check the home. Check where they came from. They've been abused. Oh, Ribosheri, look at your head, look at your neck, look at your nose. You are ugly. You are this. So
I think you're right, because that was one thing my father
identity.
did for me. My late father would always tell me you're beautiful, and your beauty, your worth is not in your beauty, is not in your material possession. It is in who you are, your value. So you must strive to improve yourself at every given time. Strive to be a better person than you were yesterday. So growing up, that was my mentality. Wherever I find myself, so I'm not really intimidated by someone putting on a Gucci, someone coming in with Lamborghini. I'm working on what I have, what I know, my value system.
So that should be your spouse. That should be the kind of person you'll be looking out for. You shouldn't look out for any other person. That is the exact person that you are.
Similar beliefs.
Yes. The person that knows himself will actually do you well. So
thank you so much. And one more thing before we go. How do you take time to take care of yourself? To prioritize self-care. You are a mother, a single mother of 4. You own multi businesses. You're a writer. You speak in functions. You run your ministry. So how do you manage this together without one clashing or without breaking down? And how do you take time to look glamorous, beautiful? Every time I see you, you're always glamorous. So how do you do it?
I'm aware of myself. I love myself. I have this self-love for myself. Myself comes first before any other person, before my children, before anything, because I'm the basket carrying all of those things you just mentioned now. So I try to live in me, like in myself. I like to, and joy comes from within. Yes. You understand? So joy is actually a feature for all of these things. I'm passionate about what I do. I try to, love it. Like, this thing is shocking me.
So what do
Let
you
me
do
put
to,
it that
what do you
way.
do to relax? What do you do to...
I relax. I enter into my sauna. Whenever I'm stressed, I run a spa.
Are you sure I'm not going to run a spa?
So I enter into my sauna. I did my facials whenever. I don't have any time. I actually make maximum use of my time. Do you understand? There is no any time that is not valuable to me. Yes, or productive. That's the word. So I use my time wisely. I can stay in front of the mirror and start talking to myself. I love talking to myself. Stephanie, this is you. You're beautifully and wonderfully made, well knitted by God. You're going to places. Do you know the kind of man that you're going to marry? Do you know they are waiting for you in high places? Do you know where you're going to? Because I'm surrounded by this mirror. I work with mirror. So my house is all in suits with mirror. So I try to walk around. Sometimes I walk around naked. Yes. I look at what God has created and I love myself. I'm like, oh my God.
I'm like,
you are so beautiful, girl. So that is not selfishness or idolizing. No, it is not. It is loving what the Father has actually created.
You see what you just said. Now I'm surprised when young girls, would be telling me that they are saving for BBL.
When they have all of BBL,
they want to do bomb and all of that. And whenever I want to advise them, it's like, Madam, it's not you. And I'm like, why? Even if I were to be very slim, I'm telling you, I don't think with my level of self-worth I would advise
it's lack of identity. See, all of these things don't actually come from us. The one that created you made you wonderfully beautifully made. In fact, do you know what actually gets me excited? It's not the beauty alone. It's the wonderment that God created. Like I'm a God with a small letter G. So those things that God had already showed me are my
make you so happy.
Exactly. I'm so fantasized by them daily. I love where God is taking me to. In fact, if I had to get married again, like I want to get married again, I can't marry somebody that is resting. an old man that is tired. No, I can't. I have to marry somebody that is still very, very active.
Like yourself.
Like myself, because that person need to have the ability to carry me to my dreamland.
Yes.
That is where, yes, you are trying to encourage me, you are pushing me there. You know, not somebody that's leave me alone. What says you know you are full of trouble. That is not
the person is tired of life, wants to rest.
Exactly.
You know.
I'm just starting.
Yes.
So I'm just starting. I'm just here to actually pour into my word, and yes. I can do it over and over and over and over, tirelessly again.
We've had such an amazing conversation. I've learned so many things, and I'm sure our listeners and our viewers too will pick one or two things, you know. And I hope you visit us here again in this podcast, you know, to come and give us more and more and
any
more.
Topic you want to talk about, I'm available. Thank you for having me.
Thank you so much for coming. Love you so much, ma'am.
Thank you so much, ma'am.
Thank you. So this is where we're going to call it a day. I hope you've learned one or two things from today's conversation. So if you haven't followed us on Instagram and on YouTube, please follow us for more exciting conversation. So this is from your host, Tejiri Tialobi. I'll see you in the next conversation. Love you all. Mwah.